Hey guys, it's Gorgeous Plus back with another video, and I've been wanting to do a variety type of video for a long time now because I'm doing a lot of sports because, of course, both football seasons just started. Well, not even just, man, because we're done with college football regular season besides Army, Navy, and NFL season is nearing its end as well. So really, now I think about it, we're nearing the end of those seasons, so it's a good time to start a variety of things because when it's in the off season, it's going to be pretty boring, so I'm going to have to start making different types of videos. This is going to be one of them, talking about one of the games I completed over the last month or so, Mario RPG. Now, I've talked about Mario games just briefly in this channel before, mostly in rankings of other, I think maybe the only time was when I ranked all my favorite video games of all time and stuff. I think there's a couple Mario games on there. But I haven't really gone into just purely talking about a singular Mario game. And eventually, I do want to do more variety videos that isn't just a ranking. Because I rank a lot of things when I am doing variety videos. So this time, I will be ranking the Mario, like the Mario Party, basically. Who you're fighting with. Which includes Mario, Mallow, Geno, Peach, and Bowser. If there's any ideas you want me to talk about at any point in the future, make sure to comment them down below. But this is right after I beat the game. I've not been QLex yet. I've not done any of the post-game rematches yet. This is just main story, who was the most useful for me. I will be probably ranking bosses later as well. But again, I do want to make some variety videos that don't have anything to do with ranking, just talking about stuff like my Spider-Man video where I didn't rank anything. I just talked about how much I like the game. But I think it's a good time to start with my last place entry. Before I get to that, make sure to like and subscribe, of course. I already said comment, do that. Subscribe to my other channel, Gory Jr., which hasn't been posting a lot, but I will try to get some more videos on there soon enough. Anyway, last place is going to have to go to Bowser. Now, I've seen most people have him in the bottom half, 3, 4, 5, maybe 3, but usually in the 4 or 5 range. And I mean, I've seen one guy have him at like 2, but there's just something about Bowser, man. So the main thing you want to do in Mario RPG is use your magic when you can. Magic is the most useful thing. It heals, it does spread damage, it does everything you want to do in this game. The problem with Bowser is that his magic isn't very good. His best thing is physical attack. And while regular attacks are good for just clearing enemies without using your magic, whenever you're in a boss, which is a lot of this game, there are a ton of boss battles. And especially at the end of the game, most of your battles are boss battles, if I'm being honest. Bowser just isn't that useful because you never want to use your magic on him. You don't want to waste your magic on him. You don't want to do a lot of damage with your magic with Mario or Geno. You want to dot peek with Mallow, or you want to heal with Peach. I'm never bringing Bowser to use magic. He's never in the front of my party because whoever has my front of my party is always Mario, and then Geno, and then either Peach or Mallow for if I want to dot peek or heal. And you can heal with Mallow too. Peach is a better healer. Bowser just doesn't have a spot in my party in the front. Of course, when I first got him, he had pretty good stats compared to the rest of my team, so I actually had him in. But as soon as I got Peach, really, Bowser decided to fall off. Maybe if you get him earlier in the game, like you got him before you get Geno, I think he could be more useful because you could use some extra attack power because you have Mario who's good and him out who can attack. If they made Bowser your third party member, then maybe he'd be more useful. But since Geno, which Bowser kind of comes in after, doesn't do anything more special than Geno. He has some good status effects. Like he can make things like he can use Terrorize and stuff like that. And he always uses Mecha Koopa Stomp. I would use Terrorize sometimes. I mean, especially because his attacks are pretty easy to use their full power. Just move the left stick and then boom, you've got the full power on that attack. But even then, his magic isn't good enough to be interesting. Maybe if he had a fire breathing attack that could somehow cause a burn or something, or just another way to do fire damage, maybe that would be better than what we have. But at this point, I'm going to have to put Bowser at last. Maybe doing the post-game Bowser will change my mind, but throughout the real story, I just can't see many uses for him. Alright, let's move on to number 4, and that is Mallow. Mallow was actually going to be higher on this list. Mallow was probably going to be 3rd when I was about 3/4 through the game. But other characters did end up being ranked higher. Mallow is interesting because when you first get him, he's absolutely terrible, especially because you're not using magic much earlier in the game. So when you get him, you're using mostly regular attacks, and his physical attack is terrible. It's garbage. He does 1 damage a lot during the start of the game. But once you start to level him up, and you start to level up everything more equally, then Mallow becomes some more of a useful character. His timed attacks for his regular moves are usually pretty simple, like if it's the frog stick or the cymbals, or just a punch. All of his moves are very easy to learn, so you're going to be doing critical damage a lot. So Mallow is decently useful, but so let's talk about more of his strengths. So we'll go to his weaknesses. Strengths: Thunderbolt, the first move you can use that can hit every opponent on the field. So if you want to do damage to a lot of people at once, for example, the Claymore fight, which we'll get to more later, is the first boss I ever lost to, one of the few bosses I ever lost to. I only lost to him and then a boss later. That one I struggle with. Being able to do Thunderbolt and taking out his minions is very useful. So I appreciate Thunderbolt. And also Thought Peak. I like being able to know their weaknesses, how much HP they have left. Thought Peak was the thing I commonly did at the start of the battle, or if I feel like, okay, this battle was taking a long time, how much HP does this guy actually have? And finally, what am I thinking about? Just regular healing. I guess called HP Rain. Healing is good. It's not complicated to understand, especially because mushrooms very useful in this based on where you are in the game. Negatives. Mallow has terrible physical attack and physical defense. I already talked about attack, but defense is terrible. This man is taking double the damage it feels like sometimes that other characters would take from a move. Like if they do a spread move, other characters eat it, and Mallow's dead somehow. So Mallow isn't that great of a survival character either. I mean, there's not many negatives, but just having bad physical attack and defense is already enough to bump you pretty low, because against a lot of regular enemies, you're going to be using those regular stats. But Mallow does get above Bowser because I feel like I'm using him more. He has more things that make him stand out than Bowser does. Okay, next is number 3, and it's hard between these two, but I'm gonna give 3 to Peach. Now, Peach is very conflicting because some people don't care about her if she doesn't have a lazy shell. But if she does, she's number 1 for most people. I didn't use a lazy shell. I knew it existed. I just decided, you know what, I'm not gonna use it because I've heard it's very broken, and yeah, it is. It's absolutely insane. If you give Peach the lazy shell, she cannot die. So I decided I'm not gonna give her the lazy shell. I knew how to get it. I didn't get it. I don't even have it now in the post game. I should probably go get it. But anyway, Peach without the lazy shell is still good. Of course, early in the game, her physical attack is bad. Heck, even her magic attacks don't matter because they can't hurt anybody. So, really, you're just stuck with her healing. But once you get her stats up and you get to the harder parts of the game, healing becomes a lot more useful because you don't have time to be using all your items. And Group Hug. Group Hug and Comeback are some of the best moves in the entire game. Group Hug heals both your partners, which is the only thing else that can do that. It's the colas, which you have to spend a lot of money to buy, and also do the Todovsky's missions, which are not easy. They're easy, but I don't like spending time doing them just to spend a lot of money on these colas. Group Hug is very useful, and Comeback is the only thing besides Pick Me Up that can revive your characters. And since you only hold 6 Pick Me Ups at a time, if you need to heal bring your team back more than 6 times, your only option is Comeback. And these take 2 and 4 flower points, so they're easy to use. Peach is a very great healer, and I think there's probably games where healers are more important than Mario RPG, where items do take away most of her effect. I think she's still very useful in that. But and then finally she does get her last magic attack very late in the game, which is like Psych Bomb or something like that. It's actually a very good move, so make sure you use that as well. But overall, the reason she can't move up is because if you're not healing, you're not using her. Really. Especially until the end of the game. If you're not healing, you're not using Peach. These other characters are useful in every single battle in the game, pretty much. So let's move to number 2, which is going to be Geno. And I see a lot of people put Geno at 1. I'm going to put Geno at 2. And I'll explain why. So, first the positives. Geno, you get pretty early in the game. He's the 3rd person you get when you're fighting Bowyer. His physical attack is actually very good. I felt like, maybe I'm tripping, but I felt like just using the regular attack for Geno wasn't too bad. Like, it was good. Like, I don't know if his stats were actually very high or not, but I felt like using physical attack worked well enough for Geno. But what makes me really like using him is his special attacks. Because most of them, all you have to do is hold down A, and boom, they charge up fully very easily. You don't have to do anything complicated, and all you have to do is hold down long until all the 5 stars appear, and then boom, it's a full power attack instead of timing or something like that. So Geno's very easy to use. His magic and physical, he has no real bad stat like some other characters do, like Bowser with magic or Mallow with defense. All of his stats are very decent. And then also he also gets his final attacks, which attack every enemy for a ton of damage. The longer you have Geno, the more useful he becomes. And I know, what's it called, Geno Boost? I never used it, actually. I feel like I should have. It probably made some battles easier. Never ended up using it, but I'm sure that'll only make me like Geno more. But yeah, Geno is just the balance character that you pretty much always want in. I'm pretty much doing Mario, Peach / Mallow, and Geno all the time. And also his triple moves, so I don't talk about this much, but both his triple moves are great, so you're going to want to also use those. Which I guess there's also a reason to not put Mallow and Peach too high, because their triple moves are, like if you use Mario, Peach, Mallow, you get the triple heal, which I've never used. Never once. Same for the one that makes you protect from any one attack. Still did not use that one even once. I almost always rather just do the ones that do a lot of damage. And now it leads us to number 1, which is, of course, Mario. And maybe this is controversial, I don't know. But I always felt like, maybe it's because you're forced to use him, but I felt like Mario was always someone that you, even if you weren't forced to use him, I feel like you'd still be using him, Peach, and Geno most of the game. Mario gets some pretty good attacks, alright? His physical attack is great, so even if you're not going against a boss and you just want to use regular attacks, he's still doing a ton of damage with either his hammers or his punches. But I think what really makes Mario great is his magic and his balance in this. Because, listen, man, Super Fireball is probably the best move in the game, or Super Jump. Both of those, like, when you learn those, you're going to be using those the entire game. Because Ultra Jump and Ultra Fireball, you don't really want to be attacking all the enemies all the time, especially now with Ultra Jump. I never use Ultra Jump. I will use Ultra Fireball sometimes, but usually I'm just using Super Jump and Super Fireball, saving FP, and doing a good amount of damage to one enemy. And that's what made Mario great. Really, these Super Jump, you can hit as many times as you want, which is something that no other move can do, except for, like, I think Mallow's Star Rain. Which, by the way, give credit to Mallow, that's a good move, but you learn it too late. Super Jump and Super Fireball, you learn those about midway through the game, maybe even early in the game. So, and then even when you first learn Fireball, it's still a great move. Way better than regular Jump, but Super Jump is probably the best move in the game, I guess, because, like, I don't know, I just feel like being able to hit up to, 100 times? I've never got to 100, of course. I think the most I got to was, like, 21. But even with those 21 hits, it's still doing basically a guaranteed 100 damage. As soon as you get past, like, 8 hits, you're doing a lot of damage no matter what. A lot of enemies are weak to fire and jump. Mario's got great stats. He's got pretty decent speed. I think Mario is the character they had to make balanced, because they're like, okay, you're going to be using Mario every battle. He can't be bad. And that's what they focused on, making sure Mario wasn't a bad character, and they succeeded. So I think they did a good job of balancing these characters out. Of course, even though I have Bowser last, I'm sure there's things that I'm missing that I could do with Bowser to make him better. I don't know. But I think all the characters have their own special uses, and which is why I like talking about this game, and I probably will be talking about the boss battles at some point in the future. And if you want to see that, make sure to hit the like button, because that is the end of this ranking. Only 5 characters. Maybe they make RPG 2, there'll be more, but I doubt they're going to make another one. I'm sorry. But I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time. Adios.